are live. So I'll say, indeed. And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friend. Thank you for joining me once again on another conscious evolution. Today's whole stream topic is going to be about what we are willing to do for love. Specifically, this trip that I'm going through, how we are willing to do almost anything for love, except love sometimes, right? Just as like a how about that, right? Yeah, we prioritize love. We believe it's very important, but we're not willing to sometimes do the things that love requires of us necessarily, right? We're willing to go out, willing to spend money, we're willing to say things, etc., etc. But actually doing the things that is expected of us to truly be a loving individual is sometimes too much. It is kind of like a off the cuff topic, so it's not really like I thought about it that much. It is extremely hot. My scarf is nice and wet. Oh, that's nice actually. So I'm gonna try and be present with you friends while we're surviving. It's 40 degrees Celsius. Hey Google, what is 40 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit? 104. 104 degrees Fahrenheit. The air, I can feel it, right? Like it's hot when ordinary objects in your home is hot to the touch, right? When you pick up, like I noticed specifically today when I was like taking my multivitamins, and I pick up my multivitamin bottle, and my multivitamins is hot to the touch. I'm like, this is not okay, yo. This is not supposed to be. Oh, hello, dear friend Shan. I see your name. Sending you lovings, dad blessings. We have beloved Sam, Shauvan, and Zano joining us right now. Meatloaf says anything but butt stuff. I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. Is it butt stuff? Is it butt stuff being done to him? Or is he the one that's supposed to be doing the stuff to the butts? Right? Because I'm also like I would probably also do anything for love, but not that. I'm not into butt stuff, yo. Come on. This time. What is the tab? Yeah, now you know, bro. That is freaking hot. Yeah. Yeah, I'm feeling that. I feel like I'm zapped, like when you're in shade and you have a fan directly pointed at you and you're still in that state of don't touch me world, when your clothing sticks to your back. Yeah, it's less than ideal. I'm probably going to have to eventually get myself an air conditioner. Heat pumps are getting good at least, you know. So technology, I guess. Your silver linings. They're just, monies. Hey Nancy, sending you blessings, friend. I was thinking about the song, The Things We Do for Love. Is it a different one? I'm guessing probably so. I personally interpret that song as he would not participate at all. But is this really the conversation we want to have? No, Sam. But that's of course. I was like, yeah, of course, this is the conversation Sam, brings into. Like it's like, yeah, me trying to wholesome and Sam being like, let's come over there. I'm like, I did watch Hell of a Boss, like an episode, 2 episodes today. So I was like, of course, Sam. What did I expect? I did kind of ask for this fractal, so I shouldn't be surprised. It's so nice to get to be fully present with y'all today, not having to rush straight to work or other duties after yoga. Love is true. I'm happy that you get to actually be a little bit calm today. Maybe you can stay underneath the blankets of it being as cold as it is. My scarf is already drying up. I'm probably going to go and have to re-add some water. It is helping. It is at least helping having this little, air conditioner. Good old Max Beans, giving me a cold hug. Yeah, no worky lurky for Joe Bo today. Love is true. Joy Vive, sending you love and stew. It's nice having you here. Let me read something worth saying, shall we? Like my mind doesn't feel like it's working right now. It's just being like, hey, oh, how about you don't die? How about no dying? How about you stay cold? Don't die. And I'm like, yeah, I'm trying mine. Thank you. I'm trying. Stop. Mm. You know what? I feel like this is the thing we're saying. Hey, Kristen, sending you lovin's. It's nice seeing you. How are you feeling? Feeling better? Feeling worse? I hope that, cough that you've been mentioning is it's not as bad. Why don't you stream inside under a fan? Because noise levels. You hear that? There's no noise floor. And that satisfies me. This pleases me. Yes, no noise floor. Right? Because if I had a fan blasting on me, it would go and I'd be like, no. None of that. This is the thing we're saying for today, and I'm trying to directly attach it to the heat, trying to be like coy with it, being like, oh, thank you, universe. Thank you for warming so much. Say yes to life, that you are willing to let the fullness of the heat wash through you and carry you into an ever deepening understanding, the understanding of all that God is. God is everything after all, right? So that includes the heat. Yeah. Thank you. This is actually not too bad, right? The wet scarf is helping. So I'll be fine. Hall and Oates said once that they'd walk 1,000 miles, then walk 1,000 more. Don't put a mic on the fan. It doesn't care, right? It doesn't care if I put the mic on the fan. If the fan is loud enough for me to hear, it's loud enough for you to hear, kind of vibe. So there's no options. That's what Melty is willing to do for love. No fan noise floor. Yeah. Thank you, Dan. Yeah. Look at me. Look at me being so loving. Yes. Praise me harder. Sorry. No. Yeah, technically yes, right? But I am willing to do that for love. Only because my autistic trait is, extremely sensitive to sound and smells. So if I was you looking at me and there was in the background, I would be like, hell nah. I'm not watching one extra second. I'm gonna click off right now. So love. Me loving myself, loving you with the silence. A lot of artists have opened on what they would and wouldn't do for love, is what I'm getting at. Yeah, I can agree. Right? And again, are you willing to love for love? I feel like that is the question that I want to ask all of us, because that is technically what will really be required of you. Right? And I've a few times, but I want to bring it into our minds again. I have tried to establish in myself what love means. Ultimately, love, for one, is presence, focus, right? I honestly believe that love is true because you are choosing to give me your presence and focus in this moment, and I'm doing the same thing towards you, right? Sure, my consciousness, my focus is being split into multiple different, but it's still, I'm pointing at you right now, right? That focus. Love is the ability to endure, right? To be like, yeah, it's blazing hot right now, but I'm not going to just not stream. Oh, it's too hot for me to stream. No, I shall endure. And then finally, love is. Did I lose the third one? Endurance, right? The ability to endure, focus and presence. And love is multiplicity and unity at the same time, right? So the understanding that yes, I am a multiplicity, right? I am one of many. We are 8 billion human beings, but also we are one. This is one experience we're having right now. Having that one experience from multiple different perspectives, right? Loving so much that you are willing to, as God, as the universe, as the infinite, break yourself up into an infinitesimal amount of perspectives. That is love. And that's what we're doing here right now, right? So, are you willing to do that? Are you willing to accept your own multiplicity and the understanding of your unity? Are you willing to endure all of the bullshit that might come alongside that fact? And then ultimately, are you willing to give your focus and presence to that which you love? Melt Me Music is up to 97 views. How about that? I wonder if it's public. I wonder if other people can see it as well, Zana. I don't even know. I don't know. I want to do that. Put your voice to the fan. Robo voice. That is true. I haven't done that in a while, actually. Not since I was a kid, really. You know, pushing my face up to the fan and going. Totally off topic. Before the stream, I was watching Bill Maher talk with Fran Lebowitz, and she made laugh out loud at 3:30 a.m. I don't know what that I'm supposed to take from that. I'm sorry. Thank you for sharing, Nancy. You want to share something that you learned? She made laugh out loud. Is that a show or a podcast or a or a channel? I'm not sure. I think laughing early in the morning is good for your health. I believe this too, actually. Maybe that. Thank you, Joy Viv. Yeah, that's one way to interpret that fractal. My FinChat prompted a journal entry asking, is there such a thing as too much loving kindness? No. No, I don't think so. Because loving kindness is a state of being, right? You cannot be too much state of being. I don't think, at least. For me, loving kindness is a state of being where I kind of like let myself off the hook. Where if I find myself in a state of like, I'll go, I am loving kindness. Good old Ram Dass. After he had his stroke, he would echo those words to himself as well. I am loving kindness over and over again. Hey, Jules, sending you blessings, dear one. It's nice seeing you. Gateway, random, but I just saw an ad for a water filter that can turn Coke and Red Bull into clean water. Like, what the fuck? That's crazy. That is pretty crazy. Coke and Red Bull into clean. I can't imagine that it would taste clean, though. It might be clean conceptually, but I imagine there still being like a twinge of flavor. Is it one of those straws, those filter straws? I've seen those as well, but I don't know if there's new tech, out. I've been listening to the song "One Big Love" a lot lately. I don't think I know that one. Who's it by, Nancy? That's true joy. Laughing first thing in the morning is surely setting yourself for a good attitude for the day. That and gratitude, right? That and gratitude. This morning as well, I woke up with gratitude for fire. I think I said fire last. Maybe that's why the earth is like punishing me with heat. I was like, I'm grateful for water, I'm grateful for earth, I'm grateful for air, and I'm grateful for fire. And I had to think about it for a second. I'm like, grateful for fire. That's right. And now the earth is like, oh yeah? You want to forget about the fire? I'll give you fire, oh. Be grateful. I'm grateful. Thank you, universe. I get it. I get it. You can stop now. You can stop now. That's true. I was yogaing with Melt and friends at 3:30 a.m. for love. Yes, she was. Joy Viva's been so consistent. She's been there every single day since she started showing up. I'm proud of you, Joy. Thank you. Hey, Shell, sending you blessings. It's nice seeing your name. Dan, too funny. The filtering your Coke or your Red Bull. I'm just imagining people doing that, right? Like buying a Coke and then using that filter to drink clean water. That's the fractal that I'm kind of tripping out about. I don't know if it would be that effective though, because there's a lot of sugar and colorants and flavorants in a bottle of Coke, right? I think your filter would get so wrecked, like completely messed up if you used it like once. Sorry, I meant she made me laugh out loud. That's perfect, Nancy. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. She made laugh out loud. She made me. That I could have probably inferred that information, but yeah, that's my autism, peeking over the, I mean, like, I will interpret the words you say to me literally, exactly as you said them to me. I have no context. Oh, thank you. I'm happy that you actually enjoyed your morning in that way, laughed a little bit. Um, they could just actually drink water then. Crying is good for water weight, Zana. All right. Makes me laugh. Makes me too joyful to see you there. Me too, right? Like, I I hope that you've been kind, right? Like last time you mentioned that you've been saying mean things to yourself while practicing yoga, and that's the thing that I'm thinking about a lot. I'm like, I hope Joy Viva's being nice to herself right now. I know this is hard. Like for instance, today's yoga practice was harder for me with the heat. Like I was like, usually I try to be a little bit more wordy with my yoga practices, and give you something to think about while you're exerting yourself a little bit. But I was like, bro, I just need to focus on saying my words, getting my cues out. Na, 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 na. Maybe depends on what you're crying about, Zano. Happy cry and sad cry. Apparently, depending on what you're crying about, if you're happy crying or sad crying, the chemical composition of your tears are different. How about that? Isn't that interesting? Rabbit, hey, Zana. Blessings again to you, friend. She got some zingers in. Love is true. No, I'm sad, but it's okay. I'm sad, but it's okay. I really don't like mornings. What is it about mornings that you don't like? The sleepiness, the getting out of your comfortable bed. I don't mind mornings that much, but usually because I instantly try to reply to messages. I don't know if that's a good thing, if it's the right thing to do necessarily, but that could be one thing to try, Zano. Right? Like make your mornings an opportunity to connect with people. That is how my mornings have become a little bit more meaningful, at least. I happy cry sometimes. That's nice. Zano, make sure to drink lots of water after a good cry. Crying is thirsty work. That line cracks me up every time. Do you get happy around lunchtime, Zano? Sam, please be kind to yourself when I tell you that's the proclaimers. I can be very literal too, Mel. It's okay, right? It's part of our being. It's part of what makes us who we are, after all, Nancy. I do any form of love. Like, it's crazy how I think three different friends have said that exact same line. How about that, Duck? What is the thing you won't do for love, oh? You want to tell us? What is that thing, oh? What is that? Let us know. I don't like getting up early, but I like how quiet and peaceful it is in the mornings. I've heard this interesting take. I think it might have even been Sadhguru or something, where he was talking about all of us, kind of like being like antennae, receptors to consciousness, right? And as we receive the signal, we also output signal as well, with our own minds and our own kind of like conceptualization, our own narratives, right? So getting up super early in the morning, and that's why some people like staying up super late at night into the morning hours. There's this sense of less congestion within this psychic web we find ourselves a part of, right? So in that morning, like it's not only quiet literally, but it's also quiet spiritually or metaphysically, right? So yeah, I felt that as well actually myself, Joy Vive. Depends on how much coffee I have. Charlotte's correct that it's the proclaimers. Sad cry in the morning could be a means of releasing. So getting it out first thing. You don't have to that weight to carry around all day. So true. Mornings is less enjoyable now that it's post. Yeah, I was thinking the cold. The cold does make it harder for me to get up in the mornings as well. I'll completely agree. Time to decorate the haunted woods. Love to you, dude. Good luck with that, man. At least you don't have to work in the heat, right? Your silver linings. Is the Indian summer over, Doug? Indian summer is Thanksgiving. I love crying, not gonna lie. I don't. Like crying usually feels like there's something standing between me and the crying, right? Like I start crying and then I'm like, I cried. Does it make sense? Right? Like I'll like shed a tear and I'll be like, oh, how about that? I cried. And then I'll be like, okay, thank you. That's enough. That's enough now. You cried, oh. You cried your cry? No, stop. uh, I get confused all the time because there's no difference between the two. Indian summer, I don't even know what that word means. I think duck weather is just a bit colder than Jobo weather up there in the windy city, probably. Yeah, it's 42 when I woke up. It was 44 for Javan. Not sadness, but I love spontaneous tears. Yeah, spontaneous tears. Like I like crying emotionally, right? Like if I see something so beautiful, uh, I watched Castlevania a while ago, right? And the series finale, like last episode, like, and I wouldn't recommend you watch Castlevania, right? Like it was pretty rough for all intents and purposes, right? Like if you're sensitive to darkness, don't watch. It's dark, right? Like I think it might be scrolling through all my fractals. It might be one of the most dark things that I've ever seen, like taking all things into consideration. And the last episode, without spoiling anything, there was a moment, close to the end of the episode where I was like, oh, 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 and I shed a tear. And I'm like, oh, that's nice. And then they ruined it. I was like, bro, you made me cry for fucking nothing? How dare you? I won't enjoy mayonnaise even for love. You don't like mayonnaise? Hmm. That's not what I was expecting you to say. The only reason I'm kind of anti mayonnaise is because of is because of all of the vegetable oils, right? You can't technically make it without, or you can use better oils. But yeah, that's like my thing as well with with the mayonnaise. I kind of like it for the taste, right? It can be a nice condiment to add to your food, but the health implications is the thing that stops me. It's a very famous line from a Meatloaf song. That's why we're all saying we would do anything for love. We won't do that. Oh, I know, Joy. I was singing it. I even sang it for like one bar. I'm not gonna do it again. You'll have to go back and stream, rewatch the whole stream. 5 times. Up, dude. Make it open it in multiple tabs. Okay, stop. I've always been a morning person. Love chili and having my coffee in the quiet. That is nice, actually. Old dad joke is a Islam meatloaf. The bad sleep causing the ability to get up to be much heavier and more difficult. It's hard to be myself. I feel like I'm a grumpy poopy mush, and I freeze if I get pushed too hard. The bad sleep. Are you sleeping poorly in general? Like, do you have a hard time going to sleep? Like, I'm not gonna give you any advice. I think you probably know better than me. But I'm sending you blessings, Anna. You were loved regardless. Right? You don't have to be perfect first thing in the morning. No! Kitty, kitty! No, 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 no. Oh, it's a bug. I thought it was a bird for a second. I'm kind of less concerned now, but I'll come and show you. I thought it was a Burby that landed on the ground, and I saw the kitty instantly go for him, and I was like, "No! Don't you hurt my Burbies!" Stepped in a thorn. Look at this dude. Look at this dude. Please don't bite me, sir. How beautiful. Isn't that sick of? Look at his textures. Okay, I'll put you down, Holmes. My hand versus bug. See you, sir. Did you see him jump? He looks like he's tired. He's probably also like getting erect from heat exhaustion. I'm sorry, dude. I know. Oh, it's rough, bro. Stay alive. Uh, no, no, no. I watched the new Castlevania, the Noctua or Nocturna or something. I watched that one, and then I was like, Yossi, this is kind of cool. And then I watched the original one. Christian had watched it, and he recommended I watch it, but I was like, I don't know if I'm that into vampires. But then after that weekend I went on, I vampires, like me being scared of the sun was like a common theme for me, right? Especially with the heat right now. Like being in the sun on top of this heat is highly unadvisable. So I was like, oh yeah, vampires. And then I watched a show about vampires, and it instantly made me think, yeah, I don't think I want to be associated with vampires. Oh goodness, vampires are fucked up. Vampires are not cool. Vampires are monsters. Oh, okay. That's what I'm doing right now. Dan, sun is peeking over the horizon. And you did your yoga, Joy? You get to have your coffee having yoga? I'm so proud of you. That sounds like such a vibe, actually. Mm, or the first season, the original one I watched actually, both technically, but yes. As a night owl, I like being around early birds. I need an extra push to wakey wake. Suspiria was pretty dark. I forced myself to watch, but hands over eyes for the gore. Yeah, I mean, you like Mother, right? Exclamation mark. So I think you might have like a whole different tolerance to me. I'm not gonna watch Suspiria in that case. I'm not gonna touch it with a stick. If the gore is too much for you, I will pretty much do anything for love. That's why I had to dig deep with the mayonnaise. That sounds so nice, Joy. I missed it this morning. Slept in a little. Oh, it is technically like 11 or something for you, right? What is the New York time right now? I have Austin and Los Angeles on my tablet, so I think it's around 11 for you right now, right? I'll do anything for love, but I won't do squid. Suddenly, the internet collectively raises their eyebrows, being like, yeah, I also won't do squid. Thank you very much. Ah, there we go. Some better lighting. Hey, I see Natalie. What will I do for love? I will give my life and have. My son is 11 today, and it's hard to find something I wouldn't do for him. Tell him happy birthday. Sending him lovin's. I got a call from my sister for our girls to have a sleepover at Mist Yoga. It's completely fine. Would you bury a body for him, Nat? Probably. I was freaking itchy last night. Took some allergy meds, put on some lotion, nothing. So I had to take a 2:30 shower just to get some sleep. It's interesting that was your last resort. If I'm itchy, that's the first thing that I do. I'm like, oh hell no. I need to wash my body right now. Which kitty got a bug? It was Roxy, right? I saw her perking up, like she's gonna go and murder something, and then I, with that fractal, paid attention, and then I saw just these wings, and I thought to myself, a little Barbie dropped from the sky off of heat exhaustion, and I had to go and save him, but wasn't a burb. Was the size of a burb, but wasn't actually a burb. Mm-mm-mm-mm. No, Joy. Oops. Holy shot. I will not answer that in a public forum. Meant to say, Joy, that's a bit dark. That's a furry dude, right? Beautiful. Them colors, them spots, them textures, those them bobules on his little carapace. Oh God, no, the horror. Where's your fire stick? No, I don't kill insects, Joy. That dude wants to live, right? Like he was literally fighting me, holding on to him. Pepe! Stop with the dead things, please. Pepe. You see that? Like they keep finding dead things somewhere, and it's bothering me. because it stanks, yo. And then the puppy wants to play with me, and she smells like death. And you know how sensitive I am to smells. Puppy, stop. She's like chewing faster. Look at her chewing. No, stop doing that. No, stop it. Stop it. Leave that alone. Leave it. I don't want to touch it, yo. That's disgusting. Because if my fingers stank, I'm not gonna have a good time. I'm gonna be an upset camper. I will get sticks. Leave that alone. Stop it. Stop. And stop. Give it to me. Give it to me. Peppy. Cess. I touch it anyway. So gross. I'm sorry. Oh man, the smell. Oh, that's so fucking rank. Oh, I'm watching you. I can see you. Don't you look at me like that. I'm looking at you. I can tolerate many things. I can do many things for love, but I can't tolerate stank. I can't tolerate stank, Pippi. Now you stink, right? And then she's gonna want attention from me. And then she will be like super distraught by the fact that I don't want to touch her. Oh, why don't you want to touch me? Oh, I'm such a cutie patootie. But you stink like death. And look at me like that. She's like, let me show you. She's walking away now again. Okay, yeah, moment has passed. She was pretending to be very disheartened. Is that like a locust? Yeah, I don't think so. I think it only becomes a locust when they're together, right? Is that true? That's a grasshopper in my mind. A springkaan, as we say in Afrikaans. A springkaan, which directly translates to jump, and then kaan, which is just a sound, like Pippi is smelling for more dead things. Yuri, I can see Yuri also looking for it now. I'm paying attention. I can see. I have eyes at the back of my head. Is it Eva Vagnever coming and saying hi as well? Roxy is in heat, so those sounds that you're hearing is her. Yeah, I'm uncomfortable on multiple layers right now, it seems. No locusts allowed on the farm, Bugs. Thank you for sharing the heat. I've been unseasonably warm this week. How about that? Love is true. I love you people. Love again to you. It is, after all, vampire season. It's vampire season right now. I mean, it is October, right? So all the scary things are coming out. Straight from a Starship Troopers. Yeah, Mel, it's 10:30. Watch the old Italian Suspiria. Nope, not gonna do that. Mel, that's actually a cool new guidebook. Movies you don't want to watch that Shell watched, so you don't have to. Two of the list is Mother, yeah, followed by Mandy. I think I've seen Mandy as well. Mandy is also one of those movies that I highly recommend you don't watch. I think it's a Nick Cage movie, right? And that movie messed me up as well. I watched that movie directly after I started taking LSD as well. Like, I think I took LSD, like 2 months before watching that movie, and I was like, oh, thank goodness I took LSD before watching this movie, because it would have probably ruined it for me if I had it any other way around. Twillist. Hot take. I don't like Meatloaf. The 10 cc's song is better. I'll put it in Melty Music. Thank you, Zana. Happy birthday to your son, Natalie. I don't know how I missed that. I mean, there's too many things to remember sometimes, right? Love is true. Either way. The only Castlevania I know is the video game for the original Nintendo. It's probably the same franchise. It's pretty good. You know, those locust plague events? I'm thinking people could eat the locust in a time of need. Yes, right? I think it might just be a matter of capturing them. I'm just imagining these dudes with industrial sized vacuums vacuuming up these bugs, them getting piped to crushers, getting diced into bits. No, please stop. I don't want to see. I don't need all of that right now. Melty needs me in life, as I will kill the bad bugs and dispose of the dead things. No, I don't need the bugs killed. I need the bugs need to be alive, right? If I kill the bug, it's not going to serve its purpose in this life. Maybe like a big bird's gonna eat him or something, right? And if I just kill him, he's probably just gonna be eaten by microorganisms or whatever. I'm happy with him doing his thing. Bugs and dead things on stream. I'm sorry, friends. I'm sorry you have to deal with it as well. Like my mind is now super alert, trying to make sure the dogs, don't get back into the stuff. Go wash your hands. Yeah, I did. I instantly had to go and wash my hands. There was no way that I was gonna continue not washing my hands. I don't know if you have them in South Africa, but here we have cicadas, the big ones. Only come out every 14 years. Ours is coming out next year. The sky will be filled, and they are incredibly loud. Yeah, just like these dudes who scream their little lungs out, right? I don't remember. Is that a scary movie? Gory one, apparently. Peppy trots back over to where you threw the dead thing. Of course. Of course she does. Right? Like a naughty child. I'm sorry, Melt. I know you hate it, but the smell of fractal is amusing to me. I mean, I'm here to entertain, after all, right? So we can consciously evolve alongside one another. I'm getting hit with one arm while riding a motorcycle. Felt like getting shot, getting hit by a cicada, 100%, right? Like getting hit by droplets, like if it rains and you're riding at like 120 kilometers per hour. It feels like you're getting shot. Not a fun time. It's not scary, but gory, definitely. Yeah. Don't ride motorcycles when the cicadas are blooming. Kalex gives thanks for the birthday wishes and is calling me away to look up game stuff for him. Love to you, Natalie. Go and be a good mom. Also, I want you guys to know something crazy that happened. The cold came in so fast, it caused a mass migration of birds passing through Chicago. 600,000 birds. They asked us all to shut our lights off. To shut your lights off? Do they get attracted to the lights or something and then, not find their way? To stop them from hitting the window. Oh, because they think they can fly through your building potentially. Maybe to Peppy, rotting dead things is like delicious blue cheese. I'm sure it is. I'm very sure it is. But to me, it smells like no. My evolution has told me that eat that thing, die, right? So it is coded into my DNA to avoid with a fury them dead smells. So even though she might not have that, I definitely do, right? And I am the person in this fractal. Thank you very much. I will impose my wishes or whatever. Hey Lisa, sending you blessings, friend. It's nice having you here. I've watched Into the Void. I've watched Into the Void. I don't think Into the Void is that bad. Right, that's the Scarlett Johansson one, right? Hey Google, Into the Void. No, Into the Void is the DMT one. And it's Black Sabbath song. No. I think that's the DMT one, right? Yeah. Yeah, that one was also pretty rough. Also one I wouldn't recommend you watch. I've watched that one as well. Like I do from a place of conscious evolution, I guess, expose myself to some dark material sometimes. But it's from this fractal of, I can see how dark things can get and then realize, the light being that I'm trying to be kind of vibe. It is an experience. For me, scary movie is The Ring, also Hereditary. Yeah, I haven't actually seen those. I've know about both, but haven't seen them myself. We play with them by calling out when they're looking for a place to land. It's slightly mean, but Canadian geese are tough as nails and handle it. It might be too much, but I think it would be a great experience to step into another frame of mind on drugs, into the void. You will try. It might be too much for you. Oh, I've seen it. I've seen it. For me, the real thing is just the angst, right? This the stupidity and angst of how that whole movie started, right? I have a gun, and then gets shot in a bathroom stall through the door, right? That's just like yikes, bro. Right, like there's nothing glorious about that death. I'm watching the Raptors. I don't know what the Raptors are. Where I live, we're also going to get an WNBA team as well. Let's go, ball. Let's go. Do the ball. Lights off for migration. I have a sticker on my water bottle saying that I believe they use the light on the horizon for direction. How about that? I don't actually know that. Directions to my house, Chobot. I'll start getting pics of all of these gays. I don't know if that's okay. 2025, I think part of the warrior organization because they might just end up dying, right? And you won't get to see them dying along the way. So there are massive shortages with stimulant meds right now locally. They were out of my Vyvanse 30, but had 140 in stock. So I got my doctor to up my dose last minute. Let me tell you, 10 milligram dose extra is awesome. Cleaned and organized my entire kitchen yesterday. Yeah, it's meth. It's not meth. Yes. Yes, technically it is. Hey, Google, can you show me the chemical composition of Vyvanse versus meth? Firevans. Nice. Hey, Google, can you show me the molecular structure of Vyvanse versus meth? Of Bivans. I don't know what Bivans is. Vyvanse. Let's see. Amphetamine and the methamphetamine difference affect dopamine transporters. Doop, 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 doo. There we go. This is just amphetamines versus methamphetamines. There we go. This is technically it. Vyvanse is a slower absorption speed, it seems. Vyvanse, a form of amphetamine that includes a drug called lisdexamphetamine. Adderall includes amphetamine salts called amphetamine and dextroamphetamine, right? So Vyvanse is an amphetamine. So there we have an amphetamine, and there we have a methamphetamine. You see those two structures? This structure is very similar to what your dopamine looks like. Hey Google, show me the molecular structure of a dopamine molecule. I don't understand. There we go. And that's a dopamine molecule, right? I don't know how long your memory permanence is, but those molecules look practically the exact same. They bond to your brain, right? So yes, I'm sure it works great. It's so wow, it's so great, but it's unfortunately not good for you, right? Like we do not know the long-term implications of using stuff like that, unfortunately, right? I would love to take meth, sure, if I knew it wasn't gonna mess up my brain, but I don't know that, so I try not to. The topic was what you would do for meth. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I mean, right? Some people love meth so much they'd be willing to do anything for HIV. How about that? Or you could watch something wholesome like Temple Grandin Melt. Hint, hint. Jerry still trying to get me to watch Temple Grandin. Maybe no. I'll have some time for that. Weirdly enough, I've been thinking about watching Sin City. I don't know if that's an wholesome one, but I think like I've seen a few people like hype about how beautifully stylized it is. What was the topic again? What we would do for love, Nancy. How much are you willing to do for love? And specifically, are you willing to love for love? Are you willing to be present and give your focus? Are you willing to endure? Are you willing to accept that we are a multiplicity? There is a me and a you, and then there is a oneness that we are experiencing together, right? Because those are the things, in my mind at least, that make up love. Dog, that's inspiring and also pays off in many ways. Pays off in ways, right? Yeah. It's nice, right? Being able to get that amount of energy and, just grind and clean things or sit down and code for 6 hours straight. It's great being able to do that, but that's not how we're made, right? Technically. I don't believe, at least. Like for me, it's an empirical study kind of thing. I want to have more information. Like if I can understand truly how these things affect my neurons, then I'll be a little bit more open, right? And I have taken Concerta, but I've taken like a dose or like a serving. Is that what you call it? Like a prescription. There we go. A prescription, like a month prescription of Concerta over a year and a half, right? Like that's how I'm willing to use it. When it becomes like a daily thing that you keep doing to yourself, that is not going to be good for you, right? Specifically because your body produces dopamine, which means that if you're taking a compound exogenously, you are literally, and I'm not joking, literally signaling to your body, I have enough of this chemical because my receptors, my dopamine receptors are being populated. Stop producing it. Stop producing it. And now your body is like, well, I'm getting all of this Vyvanse. Guess I don't have to dopamine myself. And then when you don't have Vyvanse, you have absolutely nothing, right? You feel like trash. And that's where I kind of like draw the line for myself. That's why I'm so vocal about it. And I have angst in my pants. Angst in my pants. What is the topic? Dark love is true. What we do for love. They're immigrating from the cold to the North California melt, and Canadian geese are filling up our neighborhood for real. You do you. At headquarters, it is a destination because there's a man-made lake and no predators. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. I was like thinking that you were like specifically getting them to come to your house by keeping your lights on or something. Asking the questions and turning it around. If you do it for love of another, be sure to make the same efforts for yourself too. So beautifully said. There's so much murder in Sin City. Also, the sequel was kind of crap. I wouldn't watch the sequel. I'll just watch the original because apparently it was like them adapting a comic into like a movie format, and the creator of the comic was like not okay with them adapting it into a movie because of his style. And then they were like, "We can do it though. We will be able to do it." The more you know, the more you know, the more you know there is to know. Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't always help, right? In my mind, it does, right? Me being the way I am, I really like knowing and understanding what I put inside my body. Like, if I don't, that's why I'm willing to thank you for the donation, brother Gary Lee, triple fouring me. That's why, I'm doing Sober October right now. I know that caffeine isn't technically bad for me. I know that marijuana isn't technically bad for me, right? But I am populating my adenosine receptors and my endocannabinoid receptors, which means that I am changing my internal chemistry slowly but surely. And by taking breaks, I give myself a new reset, like so I can go from like a new baseline forward, right? And with like dopamine is too sticky, right? Dopamine is like the drive force of your life. in a large way. If you had no dopamine whatsoever right now, you wouldn't lift a finger. You wouldn't get up from your bed. You wouldn't even go to the toilet. You would, like the dopamine you get from relieving yourself would be better than the dopamine it would take for you to get to the toilet. So you would literally just, you know, relieve yourself in your bedding kind of vibe, right? You need dopamine. It's very important. And those chemicals, unfortunately, because they're being produced by a big pharma kind of vibe, means that they have an incentive for you to continue using them indefinitely, right? They're not curing you, they're not healing you of anything. They are supplementing something that your body produces. And it is something to be aware of. Probably the worst side effect is the fact that it's addictive. Yeah, of course. Of course it's addictive because you're telling your brain, I have more than enough dopamine when I take this thing, right? And then your brain is like, oh, we have more than enough dopamine? Guess we're not producing any anymore. And then when you don't take it, your brain is like, bruh, where my dopamine at? Where give me them dopamines, right? And then you're like, I need my Vyvanse. And if you can't get your Vyvanse, then surprise, surprise, you're willing to do coke or actual meth, right? Like that's kind of like where a lot of people start. They cover it up by saying upping the dose until you are on too much, and then you have to titrate off, yeah. Or people just don't, and they start doing harder drugs because they've been so brutalized by the the big pharma incentive for you to continue taking the drug. Do things for love means what? To get love or to prove love out of a loving feeling? No, right? Again, sometimes, for instance, let me make it very simple. I believe my dad loves me, right? He does. He loves me. But at the same time, he's not necessarily willing to give me his focus and attention when it comes to the way I like to communicate. He's not necessarily willing to endure the fact that he might not know everything or he might be wrong. And he's not willing to understand. He's willing to believe in the multiplicity part of love, right? The fact that I can love you, but he's not willing to believe in the fact that that I that loves you is the same thing, right? Yeah, I love you, but it's me loving a version of myself, right? So even though he loves me and he's willing to do the things, he's willing to, take care of me or, allow me to stay in my room kind of vibe, still there can feel on an internal level like that love isn't necessarily as true as it could be. So that's like the thing that I'm talking about. Are you willing to do the things that love require? Which is a horrible experience. I can't imagine taking antidepressants, at least long term. Vyvanse is a prodrug of dextroamphetamine. Amphetamines are thought to block the reuptake of norepinephrine, which is like dopamine as well, technically. And dopamine, yeah, both of them have the same chemical composition into the presynaptic neuron and increase the release of those monoamines into what you want about stimulants, Melt. Think maybe what you want about stimulants. But yesterday was the first time I had a linear thought in 6 months. Pills don't make skills, but try riding in a bike race with one broken tire when normies get two. Bro, I have been prescribed. Like, there's a reason that I can get a prescription for stimulants. We're not different, oh. I have the same issues, right? I understand. I love it. Me too. Me. I like taking stimulants. They're great, but they're not good for you. That's the point I'm trying to make, right? And I get it. I do. But then going like, oh, yeah, this Vyvanse is so great. I can do so much on it. Yeah, but it doesn't make it any better for you. You might earn more money. That's the joke, right? For instance, let me reframe this. If we put meth in the water supply right now, the entire populations Productivity will increase fivefold, right? Money will just be even more abundant. People will work extremely hard. But you think that's going to be good for us? No, no. That's going to be really bad for us, right? And again, it is addictive. And it is a pattern forming. The more you take it, the more you need it, right? And like I like how you friends are like, oh yo, we need to learn how to grow our own food, and we need to make food forests because of the food chains collapse. What are we gonna eat? What are you gonna do if there's no Vyvanse? Oh, right? You can't make Vyvanse yourself. No, I mean you can't technically make, meth in a basement. But do you want to do that? No, I don't think so. Like that's the point I'm trying to make. It's an awareness thing. Like we're consciously evolving here, Duck Dad. I look forward to a world where you don't have to take those things, right? And I do believe that I mean I'm capable of doing things. It's hard for me. It's super hard for me to do focused work, right? To sit down and to do something or to, as you mentioned, clean the kitchen. But I can do it. The way that I give myself more dopamine to actually be able to enjoy it is I listen to music. This brain numbing work, right? Sure, the dopamine in my brain by taking a drug, it's going to do the same thing technically, but that is pattern forming, right? And that's the thing that we're calling our awareness to. I think I'm trying to do everything for love, trying, but the devil manifests to get my ugly face pretty routinely. That's life. I don't believe in the devil. If the devil exists, the devil is you, right? If God exists, God is you, kind of vibe, right? There is no separation. But I get it. I get what you're saying, right? The devil being that part of us that Canadian geese over 15 gigs. Took a 1 milligram benzodiazepine, a dissolving one, but only for emergencies when I'm in a hypomania state out of the hospital. It felt good, but it's just not for me. I haven't ever taken any benzodiazepines myself, so I can't really talk on that one. Joy, you get them at Grand Lake in big numbers too. I used to take baby Shell Jr. there to the kiddie park, and the geese were everywhere. He seemed to be prolific poopers. Yeah, they do serve as composters, technically, turning food into nutrients for plants to eat. They cut through green poop stains, everything. Love can especially be seen in the willingness to climb down from the mental structures that we've built to meet one another where they are. Gosh, so much stinky, goosey dookies. Joy, I'm glad that you're alive, but I don't like their poop. Yeah, I don't think any of us probably do. That's a lot of poop, especially if they're migrating, right? So there's like swaths of them. There's a bird sanctuary there at the lake shell. Wasn't the area designed by the people who did Central Park in New York City? I wouldn't know. That's all you had to say. Joy, here I come, packing all of the Midwest I can fit in my backpack and starts walking. I would rather live with my own non-linear thoughts than become dependent on another medication. Yes, that's exactly what I'm trying to say as well, actually, Zana. Thank you. Because I feel like I'm being mean, which is not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to demonize you, Duck Dad. I'm not being like, oh, Duck Dad is a drug addict. That's not what I'm doing. That's not what I'm doing, right? It's like me trying to remind myself as well. Because I promise you, friends, if I was taking Vyvanse over the last 3 years, my career would have been significantly accelerated, right? I would have had the motivation to film videos every day and sit down for 3 hours and edit them, right? Yes, I would have been able to do that, but I don't want to be that version of myself. One, because that version of myself is going to burn himself out, hate what he does, and then by extension, hate the people that I think is making me do it, right? So it would be like a self-fulfilled prophecy of, hating my work, one, and then two, the financial implications, right? I don't know what you're paying for your Vyvanse, but I can't imagine it's cheap because it is unfortunately a pharmaceutical. 750 milligrams of lithium is enough for me and sometimes too much, but everyone says I gotta be on it. Reality is closer to everyone else when I'm on lithium, so I agree. But I wish I could just function as myself with nothing. I believe eventually you will be able to, Zano. I think over the next 10 years, with us folding proteins right now and us understanding how our epigenetic code works alongside our ability to actually analyze with AI, we'll have more tools, right? Right now, the drugs we have, Vyvanse, antidepressants, SSRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, these things are like shotguns, right? Trying to hit like a little target. Oh, this part of me that isn't motivated, or this part of me that has this like scattered mindset, multiple little tangents. And then I take this, of 40 milligrams of Vyvanse, and then suddenly I can go, and that can feel good. Yes, it can. But that right disconnects you from all of that stuff, which is a part of you, an important part of you. So the way I think of it, at least, is that we're going to go from using these broad spectrum, over encompassing, right, serotonin reuptake inhibitors as well, is like it affects so many other regions of your body and your brain that are unintended, to a little bit more of a surgical approach to our own DNA. Right, epigenetics is really cool, really, really cool. Go and look it up. I mean, if you like Joe Dispenza, you probably already know about epigenetics. Epigenetic is the code on top of your code, right? So you have these DNA spirals, and these DNA spirals have like these little, chains. And then on the outside of those DNA spirals, you can have something called a methyl group that clips on or off of those spirals. And where it clips on or off, it can activate or deactivate gene expressions, right? So surely, with enough research and enough data and enough AI, we can figure out which gene expressions express for certain ways of being. We can technically, on an epigenetic level, upregulate the amount of dopamine your brain or your body produces naturally, right? And that's what I'm looking forward to, instead of it just being like an exogenous thing. Because as soon as you introduce something from the outside, you have to continue. It's the same thing with steroids, right? I could look super good, jacketh to the maxeth, by taking roids right now, but I'll have to continue doing so. And that's why I don't, right? Because I don't want to do something that I have to continue doing so I can continue doing the something to continue doing it. It doesn't compute to my brain. It's like, nope, I don't want to be addicted or dependent on anything. Thank you very much. So, Joe, seriously, when you visit, we have great places to take you. Lindsay, Olone, Olone, and the Grand Lake. I look forward to going there too one day. Oh, Shell, I'm certain this will be a thing, 100%. No shame to anyone who leverages meth for improved quality of life. Exactly, right? This is not me trying to shame you. I have taken a plethora, right? I was taking Concerta in high school as well, because I was prescribed it, right? I got the same things. I got the ADHDs and the, ADDs. I got that. I do. You friends have probably noticed, right? And it works fantastically. I love taking stimulants. It feels great, but I have to continue taking them, right? And the longer I take them, the more it just becomes baseline, right? Now I'm like, oh, does this even do anything? And then I go to my doctor and I'm like, I don't even know if this does anything. And it's like, yeah, let me increase your dosage. And then I get that feeling again of like, yeah, this feels great. This is working. And then it stops. And then I have to up my dosage again. For instance, Doc Dad, if you go back to 30 milligrams of Vyvanse after you complete this round of your current prescription, it won't do that much for you, right? That's drugs. That's straight up drugs, right? That's what they do. And it's a slippery slope, unfortunately. I think you're right. Big things happen in neurotech. Like I have like email subscriptions that actively send me. Let me do this actually. Let's see what the most recent email is. What I got. CRISPR. Let's do this one. Precision gene editing in human stem cells. That was 5th of October. Researchers have used CRISPR gene editing on stem cells and human neurons to study the impact of gene. CRISPR Therapeutics arises but trials market. What investors should know. So that's investment targeting EVA71 RNA viruses, gene editing, CRISPR and Cas genes market. Everything you need to know. More investment. Kelly CRISPR gene editing technology, more investment. The Nobel Prize for mRNA. Which other biotech stocks might be? Man, so much investment stuff, right? Like there's so much money being poured into it. Uh, Stratos Wealth Partners invests $244,000 into CRISPR Therapeutics. USD funding research developing low-cost white spot syndrome test for shrimp farmers. So we're using gene editing tech, to make sure our food sources stay around. CRISPR has been adopted rapidly by the scientific community. Surprise, surprise. It's almost like it's revolutionary technology. Influential women 2023. Svetlana Lucas, Chief Business Officer, Scribe Therapeutics. So yeah, I don't know if that was any useful information. Breakthrough for enzymes, recomb. This is toolkits, so you can do it at home. Growth stocks, more stocks, more stocks. String bioscience plans for new applications. And there is like medical trials being run right now as well, actually. Medical Center Biotechnology Seminar promotes use of genetically modified mice in trials. Receives new coverage from analysis. Cell therapy weekly. Plant breeding in CRISPR plants. Yeah, more. Let me see if I can find one of my other email chains. I have one that goes like directly into longevity as well. Where is it though? I feel like it has been a while since receiving any. Is it on my other email? This one maybe? No. Did I unsubscribe? People want my bone marrow, yo. At one point, I did go in to have myself tested to be a bone marrow donor. I think I might have unsubscribed from one of those chains. I think they were overdoing it a little bit. Like, there's so much development happening right now that I was like being overwhelmed by the amount of emails I was getting. So I was like, please, oh, I get it. We're accelerating towards human evolution. It really has been that long. I have to scroll down deeper. There we go. I think I did unsubscribe. It's called Longevity Insider. Stem cells patch for treating macular degeneration. So eyes, phase 2b clinical trials. Food can be the secret for staying young for longer. New blood factors. Scientists discover new ways to replicate cognitive benefits of exercise. The Secretome, that's an article. Regrow retina cells to tackle leading causes of blindness using nanotechnology. Researchers have discovered novel approaches for rebuilding and regenerating lung cells. AI discovered drugs will be for sale sooner than you think. There are 2,500 molecules that were approved by the FDA, and 800 of which were natural products. Once the researchers have trained the model to understand how molecules kill the E. coli virus, the team ran 6,000 compounds through the system, including existing drugs, failed drugs, natural products, and a variety of other compounds. Like, stuff is exploding in the medical scene right now, right? Like, us common people don't get to actually, pay attention to all of that. But believe you me, in the next 10 years, things are going to be radically different, especially in the medical industry, because there's so much money there. Okay, okay. No. It's a quality of life issue, yeah. I started taking Vyvanse about a year ago, and I have taken an antidepressant for years. Unmedicated, I was a suicidal mess. That's why I was put on medication as well, Loazana. The opposite could be a disaster. I was writing Dearest Heart, LA. Thanks for spelling it out. Love is true. We're all different. Some of us really need our meds, some don't need to argue about. Yeah, it's not an argument, it's a call to awareness. Finding the right combinations of meds have been not just life-changing, but life-giving. I think I might have to leave this conversation for now. I'm sorry to hear that, Loazana. You are loved. Let's talk about what inspires your music. We're dependent on a lot of things for survival. We're fragile humans, not robots. True. This is true. Duck, I think Duck has already left as well. This is a sensitive topic, right? And if I was having this conversation with myself as a teenager, taking Concerta every day, and I was like, hey, bro, this stuff is not good for you, I would have fought myself tooth and nail, right? I would have done the exact same thing, because we don't want to, think about these things as bad when they help, right? And they do help. I'm not arguing that. Like, the opposite. The reason they're addictive is because they help, right? It's like a dual-edged sword, right? And we are in a time in history right now where that's the tools we have. I believe the tools will get better, but it's not no use in waiting forever, to try and get to that point if right now is unbearable kind of vibe. I really miss being a carpenter lately so much. I've been watching Girl in the Woods and Bush Radical. They live in the UP. They were a season 4 of Alone. Love is true. The way Melt is mocking us for taking meds is not sitting well with me. I wasn't mocking you, LA. Like, not even for a second. I was taking them. Right? I still did technically, not too long ago. There was no mockery. I would be mocking myself as well in that case. There was not a second of mockery going on. It is a call to awareness. Like, these things influence us, right? That's all I'm doing. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying you should stop right now. I'm saying we should be aware of what it is we're doing, right? And how these things will affect us going into the future. There was no mockery. Maybe I should rewatch the stream and see. Now I'm upset as well, actually. Yeah, we have. You're right, Joyviv. Please do, actually. I think you already have. I recently got a new facial with stem cells. I want to do that too, actually. That sounds pretty cool, actually, Lisa. Yesterday, I caught hell for consuming fruit juice in my popsicles. No, you didn't, right? Like, none of these are attacks. They're call to awareness. Yesterday, you said there's no sugar in your popsicles. I wasn't, what's the word you used? Uh, Hoying hell at you, throwing hell at you. That's the way it is, right? Like, if anything, I'm honest, Loazana. I'm going to be honest with you about what these drugs do, right? Would you rather me pretend, lie, that I don't know these things? Like, that we don't know these things, right? Like, there is scientific evidence with how these drugs affect people. Like, I feel like you're asking me to be something I'm not. And I'm not asking you to change. I'm asking you to be aware. That's the only thing that I ever do, right? What you do with your awareness is up to you. That's very clear, right? I'm not a cult leader. I'm not, I can't be a part of our community if you're eating sugar. I've never in my life said something like that, and I never will. I've never said, oh, you're not allowed to take Vyvanse if you're in this community. Never said that, right? I'm just saying, it's like I'm fucking tripping out right now. I'm thankful for all of the work you have all put into being in this world today, whatever path that you've taken, and look forward to growing with all of you. Thank you, Jean. I'll keep showing up with you as well. I wish you could all understand the differences between judging and opinions. Yes, I'm sharing my opinions. That's what I do in the stream, right? There's no judgment coming from me right now. I'm sharing the opinions and the data that I've learned, the understanding that I've gained, having been on these drugs myself, having noticed how they influence me in the long term, right? They do help right now. They do. But over a long enough time horizon, they don't. It's been scientifically proven over and over again, right? And it's in my opinion that these drugs are being sold to us with a profit incentive. And I'm not being like, oh, yeah, you're evil person for using it. It is the world we find ourselves in right now. What am I supposed to do? Say nothing about it? Guess so. Hey, Hoodie Steers. It's nice having you here, friend. Let's pull a card. See if Sacred Geometry can help us finish the stream on a positive note. I can see this topic from all sides. On one hand, I've been suicidal, and Laxapro has helped me step out of that. And I have healthier mindset. But I also get what Melt is saying as well. Yeah, I've been suicidal. I tried to commit suicide with these drugs that they prescribed me. I did my research. I Googled. I found out how much of this drug do I have to take to make sure it kills me. And I had enough. And then I did my research asking, if I add alcohol to it, will it kill me faster? And they were like, yes. So I did that. I took the drugs. I drank a whole bottle of vodka to kill myself because of these things, right? That is my experience. That is the fractal that I survived. And if I see my friends going through the same thing, I would be evil if I didn't say something about that. But now I'm evil for saying something about it too. This is a very serious topic. And I try to make light of it because it's the only way I know how to, right? Having literally gone there, I did kill myself. Not try to, I did. The only reason I survived is because I I chose to stay alive. It was like I had to fight for my life in that moment. These things don't save your life. They might make it bearable right now, but they influence so many things that we don't understand, way more than we can even realize. We each have different needs, and the existence of these things mean that these things will be abused. It's in our nature. It doesn't mean we shouldn't have those things. It just means that some people should be mindful. And that's all I'm trying to say as well. Thank you, Sam, for echoing that too. Agreed, Shell. Nothing here is personal. We're all just people who care for one another. Like I would I would think after 1,010 days, it would be clear that that's all I'm trying to do. Thank you, Zano. That is so beautifully said, actually. Yeah. Thank you, Dan, for echoing as well. Like I can only do so much, I guess. You know. I'll do it for 1,000 more days. Maybe that will become more clear. And then 1,000 more. Yeah, it's a sensitive one. It really is, Joy Vive. None of us want to think of these things as bad, unfortunately. I did pull it upside down. The reverse meaning goes, ignite the passion of the light in order to bring vitality back to a time of indifference. I could feel myself sinking deep into indifference. Orange is right. Right? Like that's the fractal, right? Like I'm either going to be passionate about something or I'm going to be indifferent. And that's not who I am. Right? That's not who you want me to be. That's not who anybody wants us to be. Right? Indifferent. Indifference is the opposite of love, not hatred. Indifference, not caring. Right? If I'm like, oh, these drugs, yeah, I don't fucking care. Do it. Do it anyway, right? What do I care? Fuck yourself up, right? That's not who I am. I cannot be that. I refuse. I would rather die before I am that version of myself. None of those would be uncomfortable if there wasn't so much care between this group of folks. Woe Zano every time. Zano is on it. Did you peak or did you peak in high school? Maybe. I doubt it. I never peaked in high school. I was very unpopular in high school because I've been this way my whole life, right? As Brother Dan likes to say, based. I say things as they are, right? To the collective consciousness, because sometimes these things need to be heard. Flamin' tropicals, passion, and fire. Here, we celebrate the vibrant colors and beauty of the exotic tropical flowers called heliconias. Dynamic tetrahedral geometry excites this image and delivers information on many levels. All are surrounded by flames that ignite the fervor of passion. Passion presents many faces. the excitement of romantic love, devotion to a just cause, or eagerness to bring vision into manifest form. It effuses enthusiasm and the passionate embrace of life. At times, passion presents a contrary face, one charged with intense emotion. Impassioned reactions can fire outbursts of anger and rage, fuel righteous indignation, or ignite obsession. Open your awareness. How many times did I say call to awareness? Open your awareness and sense the way that passion is revealed at this time in your life. Yeah, these drugs almost killed me, right? Like, I survived by the skin of my teeth kind of vibe. And that's why I'm so passionate about it. Learn to draw upon the fire of passion to fuel your visions and help bring goals to fruition. See yourself embodying the positive aspects of passion with the intention of bringing light to the beauty of your being. Engage the most excellent part of this fiery emotion and use its dynamic power wisely. Sacred geometry, huh? Yeah, see. This universe is a way of tripping me out sometimes. Perfect card, literally. Literally the perfect card. Fuel righteous indignation. I got righteous indignation, yo. Straight up. From the snake oil salesman is a statement of love. And it is what we want for each other. And I happen to love snake oil. Joking, yeah. I also like the snake oil. Believe you me. What about the Chinese snake wine show? Standing up for what you believe and speaking out about it takes strength and passion. Thanks, Mel and Ella, for standing up. Thank you, friends, for the love. Shell, but would you tell a diabetic person that their insulin is snake oil? If you don't have insulin, your body cannot absorb the sugar you eat. If you don't take extra dopamine, your body still functions. You don't instantly drop dead. You will literally drop dead. Yeah, we're not talking about insulin. You will literally drop dead if you don't take your insulin. You won't literally drop dead if you don't have extra dopamine in your brain anymore. You might feel like you want to drop dead. That's different. That is different. But the longer you take these drugs, not taking them makes you want to drop dead more. Right? And I've noticed this myself, right? I'm N of one. I only have my perspective to share from. And I very closely pay attention to the data, right? I love data. Information is like, it scratches a part of my brain. Understanding how these things work is very important to me because it influences so many people. And then I share from my perspective, from my personal experiences, what I know. That's what I do. That's literally what this stream is based upon. You friends riff with me. You share something, and then I get to riff on that. And it's a back and forth. I'll end up in the hospital if I don't take lithium. Yeah, and I'm not demonizing you for that either. Hey, Amy. Thank you for sending hi to Dan. Are you? I don't know. I'll just send you love. It's nice having you here, friend. I'll play some kalimba to finish the stream off. Breathing. How do you know Dan, Amy? That's the question I'll ask. How do you know our beloved friend Dan? +6 gain, just like that. I might have just, peaked the audio for a second. So much love is being sent. Do you know Amy, Dan? Or did Amy just decide, out of all of our friends, to say hi to you? It's nice having you here, Amy. I'm gonna play my little finger piano for a little bit. It's a way for me to say some things without having to use my words, right? Every single one of you get to interpret differently. Love, love, love to everyone. May peace travel with you in your day or night. Love to you too. Who needs tears? I'm gonna wait for Amy to let us know. Super audio suddenly, yeah. I don't know if I know Amy. Not sure. I mean, Amy wants to know you, Dan. You've been talking about looking for someone. Maybe Amy is the one. Me pushing your buttons. I'm sorry. A crazy thing. My town, once known around the Western cultures for having water springs with naturally occurring lithium. Olympic athletes used to travel here from Germany to drink Pluto water. How about that? I only feel pity that people have to test meds before finding what works. I hope you understand. I meant that we're trying to look out LA. I didn't mean the meds are snake oil. Yeah. Like, unfortunately, right now is I don't know if it's gonna be a space for any. No, you know, my battery is on 74%, of course. Triple four with brother Gary Lee's donation. It's nice having you friends here. Let's play some kalimba for 3 minutes and 47 seconds. I'm gonna turn this off since I don't need my face seen anymore. I hope it gives me hope that AI is analyzing naturally occurring things that may help us. Yeah. Hey Kate, Dan, I love you. There you go, Dan. Amy loves you, bro. Hey friends, happy Sunday. Saturday. Hey Kate. It's nice having you here as well with us, dear friend. Sending you so much lovin's. Alrighty then. We got a scene. We got a Katie. We got a Who Needs Tears and a Shannon and Nana. So many loving friends. We got a kalimba. Let's melt a little bit. Just pay attention. Be present for whatever comes up. Right? Let's think about what we talked about. Our responsibility with our words, right? The things we say. Love to you, dear ones. Let's go. Just like that, our stream has come to an end. Done for the day, given the opportunity to show up again tomorrow for a new day, share new things, have new conversations. Comments broken, no new comments sent. There we go. So much love being sent to Kate. Blessings. Hey, Amy. It's 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Still getting to do some yard work. Have company coming on Monday, so cleaning and such. Hope everyone is doing well. Even better with you here, Kate. Sending you love, dear friend. I hope that your visit from friends is gonna go well. Didn't miss a thing. She heard it all before we get better to sleep and wake up to the music. Genevieve, I love you. Do you want to go out with me as my boyfriend? I think Genevieve is gonna have a hard time being your boyfriend. Because I don't want to. Because I want to be your girlfriend. I'm sorry, Dan. Amy seems to be firing from the hip. Dan, do you want to be my boyfriend? Everybody wants to be Amy's boyfriend. Amy, enjoy. I am your chaperone for your first date. I love how Amy asked me and Dan out. So, Amy, are you a bot that Dan made? No offense, friend. No. No, Amy is a real person, it seems. No, it's not that skilled of a programmer yet. I believe in you, Dan. Dan, do you want to go out with me? I mean, if not, why not? Where do you live, Amy? If you live in New York City, Dan might be up for it. I think it might be super dangerous. Dan might have his organs harvested, but Dan seems to be Dan seems to be ready for everything. I'm joking, of course. I'm making a joke. I'm not being serious. This is me being playful. We should all wear flowing royal purple and dance around. We'd get more attention then, but not sure about the love part. I want to be your girlfriend, Amy. It is spelled want. I think she wants. She doesn't want. She wants. Gutsy choice to take a dip in the stream of how many mods there are, Amy. Watch the spam. Yeah. Our friends have massive ban hammers in their hands, Amy. And they shall swing them, right? Very accurately. Amy's love cannot be contained. Amy, what would you want to do for love? Yeah, this is some lightness, some ridiculousness. Our Shan message has been sent. I'm looking forward to reading it. Shan says to all of us, have the mostest, beautifulest day, everyone. I truly love you all. So, very superest to duperest, exponentially, enormously, considerably, colossally, monstrously, dearly, beloved, passionately proficient, Meltmore, and all of you, oh so, very absolutely, wildly, dazzlingly, magically, magical, cherished, divine friends. I thank you again so much for the love, dear Shan. Shell, you've got me laughing out loud. Did you delete her message? Amy, what would you do for love? Oh. Dan, do you want to go out with me? I think, Amy, we won't just like make that decision based on like a single message on a YouTube live stream comment section, right? Like we'll have to get to know you first, right? Maybe if you were willing to mission out and meet Dan and there's a connection and both of you feel like you would be compatible, then we can talk about being boyfriends and girlfriends, right? But just being like, hey person, right? Pointing into the void. Be my boyfriend. People are gonna be like, the fuck's happening right now? For realsy realsers, I love you all so much. We love you, dear Zhao. I love you sincerely for bringing this lightness. Yeah, we needed it a little bit for coming in at the perfect time to break the tension ice. Exactly. Love you guys bigly in case you forgot. Never. Love is true after all, right? Love is true. I want to say a bunch of things, but I feel like I have uh said too much, right? Like I think if I say anything else, it's gonna be like poking the lion or something. I love you, please. Okay, enough. Thank you, friends, for joining me on another stream, another conscious evolution. We'll do this again soon. On the other side, tomorrow. I love you. Until we do this again. Goodbye, dear friends.